Palestine was originally called Judea, the biblical home of the Jewish people, until it was conquered by the Arabs. Later, it became a British mandate to create a national place for the Jewish people. The Arabs continuously rioted and revolted to stop Jewish immigration. They succeeded in building an enmity between Jews and Arabs. However, after the Holocaust, the British allowed a high increase of Jewish immigration into Palestine. Finally, in 1947, the League of Palestine and created the Jewish state of Israel. While the Jewish leaders accepted this change, Arabs grew angry and began a civil war which they lost. The victorious Jews expanded Israel's border to later reach the capital of Jerusalem and relocated about 726,000 Palestinian refugees. Wars continued to break out along with terror raids and Israel's reprisals. The Israelis and Palestinians continued to fight over borders. The Arabs wanted a state in the West Bank, but the Jewish thought potential state would be a base for terrorists. The Jews finally agreed to allowing the West Bank to be a demilitarized Palestinian state with little control. There were many violent Palestinian groups who were formed to destroy Israel. In the past 10 years, over 1,000 Israelis have been killed by Palestinian terror and suicide attacks. The Palestinian refugees still live in crowded camps in nearby countries. Israelis oppose their return in order to keep the majority of the population Jewish. The restoration of these refugees would most likely lead to the end of an Israeli state. Both of the Israelis and the Palestinians claim ownership over Jerusalem, the old capital of Judea. It has the last remnants of the Jewish Holy Temple. Arabs want possession of the famous city because here, Arab neighborhoods are mingled with the Jewish ones. In response to Palestinian violence, Israelis strengthened border checks to prevent terrorism. The Israeli Defense Forces would sometimes quickly open fire on suspicious vehicles. This caused dissatisfaction for the innocent Palestinian workers who were forced to submit to humiliation and long waits to get into cities. Many checkpoints made it difficult for Palestinians to move between villages and towns. After the attack on the World Trade Center, the Israelis assassinated terrorists and launched an operation to reoccupy territories given to the Palestinians. The IDF killed many people, destroyed houses, and prevented people from leaving their towns. Conflict has affected the world because various countries attempt to stay neutral without much success. The United States is still allied with Israel because they want stability in the Middle East. They want to follow through in our treaty to the Israelis and take care of the underdogs. There are many rich leaders in the U.S. that contribute to the alliance as well. However, other governments around the world are upset because the violence appears disturbing. Also, this conflict is a global issue that worries everyone, but it is physically exemplified in Israel. Yesterday, Israeli extremists attacked a Turkish flotilla sending aid to Palestine. They murdered 19 peace activists. The world is forced to fear the Israelis who would be so openly violent. There's a feeling of fear all around Israel itself that terrifies the world. It is the constant attacks of innocent people and the erratic brutality that alarms the world.